How is this barn still open after this point? I mean, these people are insane. Hey bitch, and welcome back to me talking about people I hate.
Sarah and Ben, not much activity here behind me on the White Birch Farm. We did get shooed off the property earlier, but while we were on the property, despite the widespread allegations of animal abuse, we did see that there were multiple horses in stalls inside of a barn.
Today's story and today's news is so important. Not only that, but there's so many twists and turns to this story. It's actually insane. I mean, as this story has been developing, just more and more and more and more has been coming out in the news. And this is a huge development for the entire equestrian world. So I wanted to finally bring this story to you guys because I feel like enough has come out about it. I know I've been getting bombarded with emails to be talking about this over the last 4 to 5 weeks or so, but I wanted to wait until enough details came out to really know the full story of what's going on and just really analyze why the incident at the White Birch Farm in Portland, Oregon is such a monumental moment for the equestrian community.
The State Department of Agriculture's animal control officers interviewed numerous complainants beginning in the spring in response to their claims that the accused, Alexis Wall, a horse trainer for White Birch Farm in Portland, subjected numerous horses to cruel punishments, such as withholding food and water, tying for long periods of time, excessive use of spurs, and riding them hard for long periods.
So you guys, before we get into today's video, I want to say a huge, massive thank you to Link Equestrian for sponsoring this video. As you guys know, it's my own personal clothing line. If you are unfamiliar, we're doing closeouts from now until the end of the year. So everything on the website is going to be selling out each week. Pick anything up that you want because it will not come back. And I'm being dead serious. We are switching over to a completely new manufacturer, so when it's gone, it's gone.
I just can't believe anybody would think that they can put a horse through that with that kind of pain and get away with it.
Speaking of pain, according to the arrest warrant, one of the complainants alleged that during a training class, Wall said, quote, "Pain is an important part of training that horses listen to, and the pain must be great enough to make a lasting impression."
If you guys are unfamiliar, there was a story that broke back in August. I believe it was the beginning of August, sometime around August 5th. This exposed a Portland, Oregon horse trainer at White Birch Farm, which is a training, boarding, and lesson facility for animal cruelty. She is actually currently facing 20 felony counts of animal cruelty. Her name is Alexis Wall. She's a 30-year-old self-proclaimed horse trainer. We all know how I feel about that. And this all started because a lot of people at that barn, including people that had their horses in training, filed anonymous complaints to animal welfare officials and police about animal cruelty that was going on at the ranch. Police say Alexis Wall beat and tortured several horses at the White Birch Farm in Portland. Wall overworked the horses and did not keep them hydrated. In a conversation between a witness and Wall, the witness claimed that Wall explained how she did not like the horse's behavior, so she took his head and slammed it into the wall, and when the horse didn't respond the way she wanted, she slammed it again. On another occasion, the same witness said Alexis Wall told the students, "Pain is an important part of training. The horses listen to pain, and the pain must be great enough to make a lasting impression." Other eyewitnesses claimed an incident happened during a training class and said Wall hit the horses in the face with lead ropes and encouraged everyone who attended to do the same. According to records, animal control asked farm owner Amy Rader Wimler about the allegations. Wimler called Alex a true cowboy and stated that people need to have specific training philosophy to understand the training methods used by her.
As we spoke to this White Birch Farm employee, the owner of the farm asked us to leave the property.
When people have asked me, how is it, can I board my horse there, and I have told them not to. because I've seen horses in terrible conditions there through the years.
Yeah, basically an overall analysis of everything that has happened so far is Alexis Wall has been charged and is facing 20 felony counts of animal abuse. And I think she made bail. I think she's out on $100,000 bail currently at the moment.
Her attorney claims she's innocent.
Because everything that she did is completely by standard and perfect.
But according to the arrest warrant affidavit, horse owners allege their animals were being mistreated, including excessive whipping, and in a couple of instances, slamming a horse's head into a wall when it didn't respond to Wall's training.
There are a few interesting things about this story that I want to get into. Firstly, we need to address that not only did her attorney mention that this is just how people train horses and you have to know about training horses, but so did this barn owner. She also said the same thing, that this is just how horses are trained. No.
But the practices have been happening for 500 years.
And essentially it's a way to kind of break a difficult
It's accepted.
These people are just trying to justify abusing horses as, oh, well, you just don't understand our training methods. Abuse is not training. Abusing an animal in any way is not training. Also, calling her a true cowboy, yeah, not a really good sign. Anybody who knows anything about horse training knows that the old-fashioned cowboy western ways of breaking horses is incredibly abusive and harmful. Those training methods have been debunked for several years. I want to say at least 50 years. People don't train horses the same way that they used to back in the 1800s. It's just incredibly barbaric and it's unproductive. And most of the time you're just flooding the animals and causing them a tremendous amount of pain, or you're overworking them to the point where they won't fight back. That's not training, and that's essentially what it seems like Alexis was trying to do, was by beating the horses down and making them go without food and water, tying them up for long periods of time. Those are methods that are called flooding. It basically means that you're just going to make the horse feel helpless until they no longer fight back, which is not training. That's not how you train horses. Those methods don't work. They don't have lasting results. It is just a short-term change in the horse's behavior, and it's, if anything, going to psychologically damage them and physically damage them. And she's honestly lucky that she didn't injure any of these horses, which it kind of sounds like she did, because they said she's also being charged with mutilation. I honestly really appreciate the fact that so many people have bombarded their Yelp reviews and Google reviews with 1 stars, because this barn really needs to be shut down. And it's honestly really insulting for them to sit there and say that this is just how horse people are and this is how horse people treat horses and train them. No, this is not how horse people are. This is how you are, and a few other bad apples in the horse world. But this is why horse people need to stick together and call out the bad abusive aspects of the sport. It's important that we differentiate ourselves from people who make the entire equestrian world and sports look bad.
But the practices have been happening for 500 years.
And essentially it's a way to kind of break a difficult
It's accepted.
Well, so was child abuse at one point in time, right? Parents could beat their kids, right?
Patty Riley is among the horse owners to pull their animals from White Birch Farm and complain to the state.
The last time I came back, Ocho had many wounds on him, sores under his armpits. He had a chunk out of his head. His ankles were swollen.
I want to say a huge shout out to the people who were boarding at that barn or had their horses in training, who immediately called them out and pulled their horses out of the training because they knew that something was wrong. Honestly, kudos to these people. These people are absolutely fucking awesome for pulling their horses out of this training. They knew right out of the gate that something was off, and none of these people are horse trainers, but even they knew that something wasn't right. This is exactly what you should do if you're ever in a situation like this, where you feel like your horse is being mistreated. You speak up, you report it, and you take your horse away. But you guys, you know, this story goes so much deeper than what I originally thought it did, and this just really goes to show you the type of people who run this barn in Oregon. I mean, this is wild. The local farm where a trainer has been accused of abusing horses has a connection with a 2014 attack on a former owner that left her for dead in a murder for hire plot carried out by the current property owner's son. According to the documents, White Birch Farm was thrust back into the spotlight last week after a horse trainer who worked at the Sand Hill Road facility was recently arrested and accused of torturing animals. The attack occurred at White Birch Farm in East Hampton, where Lisa Rader, who also managed the White Birch Farm in Portland, lived at the time. Lisa Rader survived the attack, but was seriously injured. Dude, I mean, you can't make this shit up. This is just the most insane story. I mean, imagine the type of people that are at this barn. I mean, Jesus Christ, these people were involved in a murder for hire plot. How is this barn still open after this point? I mean, these people are insane. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna be following this story really closely. This story is super important for the horse world just because it shows the importance of speaking up and the importance of calling people out if you feel like something is off, or you feel like something is wrong, or you feel like your horses are being mistreated. It is so important to call people out on animal abuse, because these people need to be held accountable. It's so important that we support stories like this and exposing bad people in the horse world who do need to be charged, and they do need to go to jail for their crimes. And this should really be a warning to people that, yes, if you abuse horses, you will receive felony charges from here on out. So, I'm going to be following this story very closely. I'm going to be updating you guys over the next couple months on what happens, because she has pleaded not guilty, which is hilarious. But she's pleading not guilty because she's like, oh, this is just how you train horses. Yeah, shut up, you're an idiot. Anyway, I love you guys so much. Let me know your thoughts down below. And don't forget to check out Link Equestrian. But I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!